Hi, everybody, and welcome once again to my weekly program, Oberon's Outlook on the Emotional Exchanges, which is my weekly readings for the air, water, fire, and earth signs concerning the emotional spectrums that they may be running through this week. So usually we get started with the inspirational word of the day, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm using the Isis Tarot for that. It's kind of more like a fortune-telling deck than an actual tarot. So just pull a card at random. And that card is the Wave. It was pulled upright. So the Wave. I wonder what this one is. There we go. These pages are hard to turn. So it's more or less like the card Temperance, according to this, from the tarot. A period of balance and understanding. We can cooperate as well with others, and therefore we should try to do good business. We should try to have the power of adaptation. We should try for subtlety and serenity. Accept occurrences as they come. Boy, that does sound like Temperance. Cooperation. Alrighty, so let's all keep that in mind. Let's try to be more cooperative. So this reading is good for today, Friday, the 25th of September, and that's going to take us right until, next Thursday, so that's the 1st of October, I guess, eh? Yeah. 30 days past September. So, okay, and just general disclaimer, remember that, if you actually need a medical opinion, you should seek that kind of help. This is only a snapshot in time, an entertainment purpose only, but a way of maybe giving you some things to think about and react with, etc., etc. So we do 4 cards for each of those elemental signs, and so we're starting off with our air signs. Okay, get that in there. And air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And the first card is the word of the week. And that card is veneration. And veneration is maybe an old-fashioned word for worshiping or revering something or really giving it highest praise. So I'm thinking that's what our word of the week is, air signs, is we should focus on giving praise to the sacred, whatever that is, whatever that meaning is in our lives. Try to walk with a sense of that. Try to walk with reverent feelings for all that you care about. And all of that. Okay, so those are good words. So now we're going to go ahead and start with our reading. Here we go. Give myself a little room on the table here to work with. Remember to watch Banshee's Material Matters on Sundays at 10 a.m. and get the financial scoop on what your keys to success are in education, finance, prosperity, etc. And of course, as you can see on the schedule down there, we're on live streaming with free readings, short free readings, first come, first serve, Thursdays and Sundays, Eastern Standard Times prevail. Alrighty, so air signs. Our first position, what emotional happiness will you find this week? Well, that kind of looks satisfying. I'm wondering if maybe air signs are going to hear about something they've expected that they know they've really worked hard for it to come in, and that this is incredibly pleasing to them. It mostly may sound like a matter of business kind of investments or things like that, but it could be anything that you really have put sufficient time and networking and establishing friendships. So I'm thinking, it's kind of like a point of success for yourselves. Maybe you're even feeling like maybe certain restrictions are lifted and now you can move about and actually go about and receive that business that you're waiting for. Okay, so our second card is, what are the emotional challenges and surprises this week? And oh, how interesting. We have Temperance again, this time from this tarot. And of course, so everything I said before about our inspirational card of the week, which was the wave, Temperance applies here too. And I'm thinking that what challenges us, I guess, is really and surprises us is how well we are able to be moderate this week. Maybe it's because of all the happiness of our success coming in that we're able to finally calm down a little bit and to view things objectively and really work with the flow. I think that's the important part of what I'm trying to do with emotional exchanges, is give people a way of understanding their flow at that time, and so that they can move to it. So Temperance is telling you, air signs, that you can ride this out. You can ride the waves out, like that other card said, the wave. And you can balance, and you can learn cooperation. And it will challenge you and surprise you if you're used to kind of going your own way, or used to being more turbulent, like a wind sign or air sign might be. So that seems to me a good thing to work with at any rate. So now we're going to move on to our final card. What will concern the romantic relationships or other relationships, like our family and friends and co-workers? And the thing that might concern them is a sense of justice reversed. I'm thinking that maybe there are some folks in our environment who will feel like you need to give them more time. Like people are going to demand your time a little bit and want you to be fair with them. You want you to be showing appreciation for them, trying to help them with the waves that are going on, the Temperance thing. So it could be that maybe they'll be leaning on you in terms of how they're expecting you to go through certain decisions or things that have to happen. I mean, maybe you're going to have to listen to their pleas to make a judgment for them, as opposed to something else that maybe is more fair for somebody else. It's kind of a hard call there, because I get the feeling like, one person's justice is another person's injustice. So be prepared, because people around you will feel that there's an unfairness or an injustice that will need to be righted, and maybe they're going to be expecting you to help them with that. So that's what I have for the air signs. And now we're going to move on to the fire signs. And fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And their word of the week is desolation, from this deck. So I'm going to put that over there for a moment. And to me, this sense of desolation here, I'm going to shift that a little bit. The desolation thing, I think there's going to be something kind of happening here in the overall, and fire signs are going to possibly want to hold tight and feel more protective about their own. Because there's a feeling here that something will be lost, or that there's a great feeling of loss in the environment. And it sounds pretty serious. So I'm thinking you will be operating from this realm of feeling pretty deserted and desolate, fire signs. A lot of things are going to feel bad to you. So let's hope you're able to put a handle on that. So we're going to go ahead with the rest of the reading. Okay, fire signs. What emotional happiness will you find this week? Well, despite what I said about desolation, you have the Ten of Cups here. It seems to me like a lot of what your happiness will come through is your connection with your family, however you know that to be. You're going to really find you will take a lot of happiness from members of your family, from the family love and the family love of situations around you, people that are supporting you highly emotionally. It will be, quite supportive, and you will feel you really can maybe overcome whatever that desolation is, because I'm thinking this will be in reaction to that. The people around you will be able to help you if you are feeling very low this week. What emotional challenges or surprises will you face? And it's the Ace of Wands, and that one's reversed. And I'm thinking that's a little serious. It seems to me like there is some sense of loss or delay with some plans. It may be that you were, some of us, moving on with new friendships or new networking, new associations, new places to be, people to be with. And there may be some surprises or challenges there where there are some delays. I'm thinking for some reason of people wanting to get back into a normal pattern they had. Maybe it's clubs, maybe it's education, maybe it's, entertainment spectrum. And some delays here with things going on, no doubt due to Corona. And maybe certain, safety precautions are going to have to go back into place. And this delay, these possibilities of changes of plans will be challenging and surprising. And you're going to have to try to weather that. And I don't necessarily think it is about that desolation, but it could be. So watch for that. Now, what will concern your other relationships the most? Your friendships, your coworkers, your platonics and family, your romantic relationships. And I see the Four of Discs, and he's upright. And I'm thinking this is a great time for people around you to want to take stock of what they have. We have just passed what is traditionally, in an old European sense, a harvest festival, Michaelmas, spring equinox, Mabon, whatever you call that, or don't call it. But the idea that we're moving into harvest, this is the mid-harvest by some calendars, and so the thing is some of us may have to consider what we need to tighten up, what we need to protect or hold on to or store. And that's a card of kind of storing on there. At times it might have that idea about maybe a little bit of clinging there to material things, but not in this deck. In this deck, I feel the card is just saying, take stock, and that could be emotionally too. I mean, maybe all of us need to take stock of what we care about the most and what we can work with the most, those that are closest to us and those that resonate the most to our heart. And so with that said, I see this parallel between that and the Ten of Cups over here. We will have to look for the love from our family and look for the understanding and try to be cooperative and try to work through all of the pain that we may be going through this week emotionally. So expect delays, expect maybe some desolation, as it says, but try to work through that, and I think next week will hopefully be better. So that's what I have for the fire signs. And now we're going to move on to the water signs, of which I am one. And water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So I'm going to put you down there. And your word of the week, boy, this one's coming up a lot. But see, I love the idea of using multiple decks. And I think I'll have to give credit to Esoterics Tarot for that. I had done it a little bit, but I hadn't thought really until I saw that more about doing that with more of these kind of readings. But at any rate, we have Justice again. And that is the word of the week for the water signs. To consider what it is we can do to affect or see justice happening. And of course, there's an allegory for recent national things, with the passing of a well-known Supreme Court justice. But there's a lot of ways that the qualities of justice are probably very pertinent right now in our lives. So I want everyone in the water signs to think about that, trying to always promote a sense of fair play and honor. Okay, I'm going to stick those guys up there a little bit, there like that. Well, I want you to show a little bit. And we'll go ahead and shuffle those cards and see what's up with the rest of the reading for the water signs. And speaking of using multiple decks, I use 4 for this reading. My first one is from the so-called Isis Tarot, which I explained isn't exactly a tarot. It uses some of, or most of the major arcana, and then it throws in some cards that are more familiar to maybe fortune telling or Lenormand. But I also use the Clive Barrett Egyptian Tarot. I'm not sure, I think it's called the Ancient Egyptian Tarot. I use for my elemental distinctions the Cartouche, which is just a simple set of about 20-some cards developed by Murray Hope, who is a British occultist. And then for the word of the week, I use the Aglipikos Tarot, which takes all 78 of the tarot cards and just goes through them 1 through 78. There are no suits. The first 21 or 22 are the major arcana, and then after that, we get a number of odd numbers just following sequence. A lot of astrological symbology, some Hebrew lettering, different things like that. So it's kind of a cool way of me using some of my favorite Egyptian stuff. I still have a couple more that I might eventually bring out of the mothballs. But let's get to the reading for the water signs. So our second card, if that's the first card, is what emotional happiness will you find this week? Ooh, this is a little bit scary for water signs, but it looks to me like we might have to really be a little bit in our stealth mode. We might have to try for cleverness. It might be that maybe with water signs, and I've kind of, seen some insights into the Seven of Swords specifically. I went to the LunaCon a few months back from Llewellyn, and I listened to a very informative talk by a tarot reader there, and he gave a different spin on it that I've kind of like. And the idea being here is that sometimes, I'll just say this for the water signs, we are feeling overwhelmed a little bit. We're the emotional feelers of the Zodiac, and so we're feeling a little bit barraged by a lot of stuff that's going on there. But at the same time, we are the clever ones, or at least this card is telling us, promote the cleverness in ourselves, because only through cleverness can you really hope to make some sort of dent on forces that are stronger, forces that are more determined to put you back in your place or to keep your goals from happening. I'm not trying to make this into us, them. It could be very external, just different things going on. But it affects some of us water signs more emotionally. And so we're telling you that you will have to work at your cleverness and have to see what it is you are capable of subverting. And I'm saying that word, subverting, that you may have to do things a little bit in the stealth mode and try to figure out the way to make the thing happen that superior forces may be trying to not let you do. Okay. So, what emotional challenges or surprises may you face this week? And this is a good card. It's the Strength card from the Major Arcana, number 8 in this deck. And I think with the Strength card, what it's telling me here is the challenge you face will mostly be able to keep your sense of justice, keep your water sense, keep your clever sense, and promote the idea that force is not, physical strength is not necessarily the way you are going to make things matter this week. It's not the way you're going to work towards that agenda. It's also from your heart. And let your heart inform your cleverness. Let your heart inform your ability to look around the situation and figure out where a crack is that you might be able to steal into. I mean, sometimes we have to be a little stealthy. I'm just going to go with the scorpionic idea there from a water sign point of view, and I realize that may not necessarily apply directly to all water signs, but think about that. What is most important here is to challenge yourself by being strengthening from the power of your heart. Do that especially for yourself, but also try to apply that to the situations that you can. Well, finally, we're going to come to what will concern your other relationships this week, your romantic relationships, your family, your friends, your platonics. And it's the Four of Cups reversed. And I'm thinking, I know, some of our friends, some of our closest relationships may really feel that it's time finally to not think anymore about things, but to really consider what that choice for action is, consider what that choice to move forward is. And I'm wondering how this involves you, but I'm thinking it does involve you, obviously, because maybe somebody close to you has felt some of your pain and some of your need for support and some of your need to garner their energies to help you in your goals and to support you in your goals. And I'm wondering if that's what it's telling me, is that finally anyone in your environment who's been sitting on the sidelines, hello there, little kitty, come on up, come see me. Oh, well, she won't. But if that's happening, then I'm thinking that's going to be the time for those around you to really pull in their support for you, to tell you, yeah, I want to have your back. I've had this idea and I think I can help you. I think I'm ready to move forward. So I think that's pretty good. And I think that this really plays a lot to the sense of justice that's going on overall in the reading for everyone and what I'm seeing in the cards here. So I hope that works for you. And we're going to move along then and close out our session with the earth signs. And I was trying to get little Shadow, my shadow who's down there always, to jump up on my lap. I thought she wanted to, but she's just sitting down there. So whatever. So earth signs, you are Taurus and Virgo and also Capricorn. This is a good word of the week for you. It's the provider. Hey, baby. Provider for earth signs. I think this is your word of the week because earth signs, you're going to be the ones that maybe do the most to support us through all of the other stuff that's going on with the other signs. There's some good things going on there, but you have to be that person that really pulls through and makes some stuff happen. And I think that's your word of the week, to be there to provide, to be there to help. Excuse me. I have a dry throat, and I forgot my cough drops. Hopefully I'll make it through the rest of the reading. Sun is coming through the window. I don't know if you can see that. I actually pulled back the blinders, or whatever we call those wooden things behind me. Anyways, let's finish this puppy up. Earth signs. I have a bit of earth in myself. Capricorn is both my moon and my rising sign. A lot of my best friends are Capricorn. And oddly enough, they're all mostly born around the beginning of January. Not the beginning, I'm sorry, the middle of January. So it's kind of interesting. Alrighty. What emotional happiness will you find this week? Eight of Swords. You may find that you're able to contain something. There may be an emotional situation that you're needing to get a handle on. You're needing to maybe hold on to it until you can discern more about it. It could be a little bit secretive nature. I'm just going to say that. I sort of feel the sense that this is something that you don't necessarily want to be common knowledge. It could be that it deals a little bit with an oppressive situation you become aware of. I'm not so sure that it's affecting you, but maybe it infects you as an inference because it's somebody close to you emotionally. And maybe you are thinking about what other ways you can help this person uncontain themselves, or getting this information out that maybe would prove vital to help that freedom happen for somebody. Now, what emotional challenges or surprises will you face this week? And I'm seeing the Two of Wands, and that's reversed. And so the Two of Wands reversed might be telling me that there is a challenge going on and a surprise where you will find maybe something you really felt you were in control of, you're not in control of, or that it is going to slip away from you. It could be the status quo of a relationship, though I'm not sure that it's your closest relationship. But I get the feeling like there's something that you will fundamentally be challenged with, because it kind of shakes some things around your foundation, around your world. It's a foundational kind of thing. I'm not picking up any glimmer here at all, other than the fact that it's probably a lot bigger than I can say, and that I'm wondering how the provider card will play into that. It may be that financial concerns are never a real stranger to a lot of the earth signs. They can deal effectively with money, but sometimes they can also have some money problems. I don't know if money is coming or going, or if money needs to come or go, but I'm getting the feeling like you might have to really buck up some material support in this situation that we're talking about here. So let's move on to our final card. What will concern our romantic relationships the most, or our family or platonic or other relationships? And the Prince of Cups, which is kind of like the Knight of Cups, but they're reversed. And I'm thinking that it is coinciding with this Two of Wands here, this idea that there's a big challenge to a status quo. And I'm wondering if somebody is leaving your life, somebody who's emotionally important to you maybe is leaving, and I'm wondering if they're leaving because, not because they don't love you anymore, but duty calls. They're leaving for a job, they're leaving for some reason, but they're moving away, or they're moving away from your life. Maybe they're not physically moving, but maybe, I don't know, I would hate to see it, but maybe, this is really that big emotional difference between people over politics or over other kinds of very strong opinionary things. And so I'm wondering if maybe that's what it's all coming down to. And I think earth signs are going to have to play their cards close to the vest, that even if you are the provider, or you are providing something in this situation, you can't necessarily expect everyone to believe by what you believe or want to believe, just by necessarily trying to force that. That sometimes people do have to decide for themselves what they are able to agree with and to put up with. So that's what I have for the earth signs this week. And I'm hoping that this will work out for everyone this week. It's a little bit much there, but I want everybody to take a deep breath. Remember, the overall card of the week was the wave. I don't have it here at the moment. Oh, there it is. I want to show this again. Temperance. The wave. Be moderate and try to apply understanding and and better judgment and compassion, and know that this too will pass. So I believe that strongly, and I hope that we can take that and move on for another week. So we'll see you again next week. Take care, everybody.